Tell me what's going on here today.
So we're doing a rally in support of Palestine and people of Gaza. In the past 2 months, there's been kind of the outbreak following the October 7th, Hamas attacks. The Israeli government has decided to be bombing Gazans, as I'm sure you've seen in a lot of media. So we've seen, just devastation. Over 20,000 Palestinians killed by Israeli bombs. And so we're here showing our support for the people of Palestine. We're here to, bring that awareness to Coburg as well, because there haven't been as many protests or rallies in support of Palestine here. So that's what we're doing today.
Is everybody not from here, or mostly not from?
No, we're all Coburg residents. Yeah, so a lot of these people are from the mosque here in Coburg. So we're all part of the Muslim community and beyond as well. This rally wasn't organized by us. It was actually organized by a man named Alex, who's just down at the end there. He is just a regular resident of Coburg, not part of our community. So we're here supporting him.
Forgive me for asking. As I stated to you, I know little about this. So again, if it's an ignorant question, forgive me, because this is all I always say: education through communication. So this is what it's about.
Yeah.
When it first started, though, I have to ask, and I've always wanted to ask, and again, could be wrong, asking.
Yeah.
What Hamas did, was it right to do what they did?
No, of course it wasn't. And that question, a lot of people actually conflate Islam with terrorism, which is deeply hurtful and also stereotyping. So we actually reject any sort of association of the two. Because Islam doesn't promote terrorism. We're actually a very peaceful religion. We're a very peaceful people. And so what we're bringing awareness to is the toll on civilian lives that this horrific violence by the Israeli government has taken, and the killings and the ongoing woundings of innocent men, women, and children that's happening.
So this is, from what I understand, I just got here, as you know, but you want a ceasefire.
Yes.
That's the main thing of this protest?
We do. Yes.
Ceasefire.
Yeah. As many organizations have been calling for, which is a ceasefire, an end to the bombings. We don't need to kill civilians, innocent civilians, by the thousands for a solution to this problem. It's horrific. Yeah.
Why don't they stop it?
Well, the Israeli government,
this is me on the outside, because again, it used to be the main thing on the news. Now it's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and that's what I mean. So it's great to ask.
Well, what I will say is that, Western media has been largely in support of Israel. And the Israeli government, claims that they are bombing and attacking innocent civilians for, in the hopes of eradicating Hamas, and that Hamas is hiding out and using civilians as shields, as they would say. But that's simply not true, because every day the Israeli government tells civilians to move to different parts of Gaza so they can, focus on attacking certain parts, but then they end up attacking the safe zones where they've moved civilians to. So it's clear that there's a separate agenda that's happening in this relation. And a lot of people think that this conflict starts on October 7th, but it actually extends 75 years ago with the Nakba, where Palestinians were forcibly moved from their land to establish the Israeli settler colonial state. And so, that is in many ways an extension of this, and a lot of people lack that context when they talk about the events that happened October 7th and what's going on now. And so we believe that no civilians, no matter the cause or what's happening, should die innocently.
Is there a place for everyone?
Is there a place for everyone?
Yeah, like Israel, Gaza.
Not sure what that is. Is there a place for everyone? Is not really my question to answer. That's why we're here calling for ceasefire. That's why we're here calling the Canadian government to do more. It's really in the hands of our politicians and our world leaders, who have failed to take any sort of stance or any sort of action that protects innocent civilians. And so those kinds of conversations and discussions are really in their power.
What should the Canadian government be doing?
The Canadian government should be fully supporting a ceasefire right now. Justin Trudeau should be fully supporting a ceasefire and protecting innocent civilian lives. We should also be doing a lot more to protect Muslims in Canada against Islamophobia. There's also been a rise in Islamophobic hate incidents and violent attacks since October 7th. So they should be putting in more support for Muslims around the country.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Hey, hey!
Has to go! Hey, hey! The occupation has to go! Hey, hey!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! Hang on a sec. Go ahead.
I'm a Palestinian living here in Canada, and I have family in Gaza. One of my brother got killed by Israeli sniper, and my rest of my family are now disciplined. Some of them are living in UN United Nations schools that it can be bombed any minute, and some of them are living in tents right now with this cold weather and unimaginable situations. So we are arguing the government of Canada to help us reunite with our families and to bring them here in Canada, just as they did during the Ukrainian war.
How long have you been in Canada for?
8 years.
Could you ever foresee what is happening now happening
I
over there?
lived the war. I was living in Gaza till 2015. I lived like myself for 3 wars, and in each and different war, like I remember, me and my family used to live and stay in one room. Just like if we die, we would die together. We were never afraid of die because death was like the lightest and easiest option for us. But we were so scared and afraid of losing our loved one, because like I live with the suffering of losing them. So I live
war,
this.
war is a part
I
of your
know.
life.
Huh?
War is a part of your life.
Yes, it's part of my childhood. Like if you like till now, I came to Canada 2015. Until now, I have nightmare of the bombing and the war and like me going back to Gaza and live with the fires and bombing and all of that.
And again, forgive me, I asked the other woman, what Hamas did in wherever it was, October. What are your thoughts on that?
What I'm thinking as someone who lived the whole life in Gaza, like we lived in besieged area that you cannot travel. We don't have our basic human lives rights. We don't have any rights. So if you just like keep beat us, what are you expecting from the people? We have been like doing and trying in different wars, like the last one 2014. We were asking for our basic rights. Let us have airport. Let us decide what we want to do. Let us travel easily and freely. Like it's been 7 years, I couldn't see my family because I'm so scared. If I go there, if I go to Gaza, I would never be able to leave again because Israel would not give me the permission to leave out of Gaza. So I would lose my PR and my residency here.
But and again, I know very little bit about this, like I said, but the only thing I can remember is showing the images of what took place. What is happening now, I think, is wrong.
Yeah.
But what happened when Hamas went over and did that?
They did that, I think, in my opinion, why they did that, like they take the hostages. Because if you look at Israeli prison, like no one mentioned the Palestinian, the children, the women's are in Israeli children. There are like minors, children under the age of 12 years old. Around 500 of them are in Israeli prison without any charges in something called administrative something. Like they don't have any charges, they don't have anything. They're just like detain them there for nothing. So we kept like telling people, okay, we have stories, we have like, we need our rights, we need to help, we need people to listen to us, but no one listened to us. So I guess like after all these years, Hamas and the Palestinian people did some violence so people around the world can hear us. and can know what's really going on. And there is like in West Bank, there's no Hamas at all. But like till today's date, they keep killing the children and killing and prison women and young people and keep kicking people from their houses. Like why that's happening? Look at West Bank, just like if you said Hamas and Gaza, look at West Bank and what's going on in West Bank. There's no Hamas, there's no military in West Bank, but yet the situation is so bad there.
And I certainly am not saying what Israel is doing is good either, but I just think, I guess the bottom line, do you think what Hamas did at the beginning was right or wrong?
I guess from what I learned here in Canada, I've been taking some courses from indigenous people and their rights and how they get some of their rights. Sometimes you have to be violent a little bit so the government and the people can hear your voice. I learned from like Canadian schools and Canadian universities because I studied here, and I took some courses, political courses from indigenous people that they had to protest. They had to do some violence so the government can hear them and can give them a little bit from their rights. This is what I think.